Hello everybody. Today we'll be again in journal number 27. You can go to phoenixarchives.com. And we just went over the one and only law of creation, the highest commandment of it. And now we're fixing to start with the highest commandment of the law of God. And there's 18 of these laws. We're just going to start with the first one and do each video over each of them. The highest command of the law of God is, you shall honor God as the ruler of the human races and follow his laws, for he is the king of wisdom. 1. You shall have no other gods than the God creator before you, and abide with the laws of the creation, which encompasses all, also known as the law of one. This means you must recognize that your sole existence and your life on this plane is only possible by the wondrous grace of God, your Creator. You must recognize and honor His holy presence within you and all that is, because it is by His holy grace that you shall be able to receive His guidance and instructions for what your service is to God and the creation, to maintain the glory of light and love and life, and consistent unfoldment of the glorious mystery of the One. In other words, you will learn to understand and be always connected with the oneness of all that is in creation. Now, to remember and understand this, the law of one, you must realize that all beings and creations are equal, all made up of atoms, is the way I like to look at it, or even in reflection of importance to the one God. Only that each is simply different in abilities, talents, and beings as an expression of the one, all that is. Contrary to perhaps your own opinion, you as human, higher universal man, human, are not superior or inferior in importance to the tree, the rock, the bird, or any other being or creation of the one. We're all made up of the same stuff at the end of the day. You are simply one of the Holy Father's vehicles of motion for expanding and experiencing the joys of continuous unfoldment of the creation. You see, there cannot exist any separation. All come from the one great source of all the creation, and all will return to our source, the One. Also, you must understand the true nature of the laws of balance given forth by our Father, as it relates to humans, granted with the gift of free will. For example, if all humans were removed from this planet, do you think that the mineral, plant, and animal kingdoms would remain in balance? The correct answer is most definitely yes. But because they belong to the kingdom of God, which was created to maintain a wondrous planet in balance. Intersection right here, but it reminds me of the saying, if a tree fell out of the forest, if no one heard it, did it actually fall? Well, the answer to that is definitely. He's in all those things. You as humans, who are given free will and reasoning ability to choose to balance within the laws or not, were also sent to God's creation as guardians. What have you done to her by choosing to live in the lie of destruction, which is the Antichrist? Are you proud of the pollution you pour into her waters, and soils, and airspace? This is the very water, soil, and airspace you depend on for your physical survival. Where is the reasoning for this sort of corruption? Why do you crowd out and not honor the right to life of the others of God's sacred kingdom, such as the trees, the minerals, and the animals? What have you chosen with your gift of free will? Most of the mass consciousness of humanity have chosen death and destruction to themselves and the planet because they believe they are blinded by the lies of the Antichrist. They are possessed by the blindness and ignorance of their own altered ego. So now that you recognize that most ones have often chosen, with their wondrous free will, not to maintain the balance of the laws of God in the creation, you might ask yourself, so what happens now? There's a point which is reached when God must decide whether He will preserve and return balance to a kingdom of His that is lost in the darkness and ignorance of the Antichrist, or whether He will allow the Antichrist to consume itself in the plant it is sustained by, us. We will give you the example of this kingdom of God, beloved planet Earth. She is called the emerald of this universe. She is the most glorious creation, and she is alive, a being of God's love. She is a part of the human experience, and the human experience is a part of her. All the pollution of the thoughts, words, and deeds from the humans here is now a part of her, as well as existing within the humans who created them. She has been raped, pillaged, and plundered by those who want to be her guardians. She has allowed you to make her playground, or your playground of hell, and she has cried out to God for help and mercy. As have many of you who now know your only hope will come from the loving grace and mercy of our divine Father. And God has answered her plea in His infinite love, compassion, and mercy. The promise: she will be allowed to cleanse herself from within and without of all the Antichrist pollution smothering her. She will be rebirthed into a Christed being of perfection, and so too the humans who choose to align and balance with the laws of God and the creation will also receive graduation into the kingdom of God in the higher dimensions of life within the divine creation. None will be spared the ultimate choice between the kingdom of light and love, that is God's kingdom, or to remain in the kingdom of the Antichrist, which is desolate, hollow, darkness of lies, deception, and destruction. What we are describing to you is that you now have the opportunity to move your soul awareness from unconsciousness. This also reminds me of, there's no riding a fence in this, whether you're with the light or you're with the darkness. It's your opportunity to move your soul awareness from unconsciousness, current third dimensional experience, to consciousness, or new God fourth and fifth dimensional experience, immortality. Meditate on the meaning of that statement of truth. May you wisely choose the glorious freedom of the continuous immortality of God, truth, love, and light. And that is all for law number 1.